everyone, it is Jazz here. So this video was supposed to be the March book excerpt reading. I knew that, and I also know that I sort of have to apologize for it not being the book excerpt reading. In the month of March, I didn't get to film when I wanted to because if you watched my readathon vlog, you know that I had a death in my family, and so that obviously affected not only me as a person but also, you know, my time schedule of life. Then I did film it, but when I went to edit it, there were some really bad sound issues that I couldn't really work around. I'm going to refilm it, and then I will try to get it up to you around maybe the second week of April. So you're still going to get that excerpt reading. It's just later than I intended. I still, however, wanted to get a video up this week just because I feel like I haven't posted in a while, even though it probably wasn't that long ago that I posted. I decided to do a book tag, and I went with the books I'll probably never read tag, which is a tag that was created by Little Spider 9. I will link you to her video in the description. I thought it would be fun to just talk about something that was the opposite of books that I want to read, which is usually what I do chat about. I just thought getting the other perspective of that would be kind of fun. So let's jump in. Number one, a really hyped book that you're not interested in reading. I feel like this used to be like a blanket answer of most really hyped books. I don't know if I have problems with hyped books just because they're hyped, or if it's because most of the time I see the summaries and they just don't call to me as something that's really interesting to me. But I'm trying to get better about this. I'm trying to utilize my library so that I haven't spent any money and try more hyped books, just because I don't want to close myself off to it. And some of these books are hyped for a reason. They are genuinely good books. For the sake of this tag and having an actual grouping of books that is an answer for this, I will say that I read a couple of pages of Abundance of Catherines by John Green, and I realized that even though I've previously loved the John Green books that I've read, I think I've read 3 now, that one was probably not gonna be my cup of tea. I read a couple of pages of it and I was like, I already don't like the main character or anybody around him, so I DNF'd that. I don't want to say never on this one, but it's a probably never unless, you know, I feel the need to read every John Green book. It's safe to say, since I've tried to read it 5 times and I've watched all the movies and things for me don't work with it, and the writing style of the author doesn't work for me in these books, I'm never gonna read the Harry Potter books. It's just not gonna happen. Number 2, a series you won't start or won't finish. So there's probably more than I even know for me, because I am somebody that primarily enjoys standalones, even though I do like a good series when it comes around. There are a couple that just don't call to me. One is the Selection series by Kara Cass, or that it's The Bachelor but dystopian, and I don't really enjoy that type of television, so I don't see myself enjoying something that's a book like that. I'm also not particularly interested in the Sarah J. Maas books, mainly because I've heard that she's a huge fan of M dashes, excessively, and I could just see that grammatical moment just irritating the heck out of me. But also because I've heard a lot of people that have similar reading tastes to me say that kind of the balance of romance and fantasy is not something that they particularly enjoyed. They seem more heavily romantic than fantasy, and I don't think that's going to be my cup of tea. A series that I'm never going to finish is The Vampire Chronicles by Anne Rice. I loved Interview with the Vampire. I liked Vampire Lestat, and I just thought Queen of the Damned was okay. So I can obviously see that there's going to be a quality drop with each book in the series, people that I know and trust in my life, not even on BookTube, have said things about it that make me feel like it's kind of weird later on and not in a good way. And people on BookTube have commented and said that, the later books are not that great. So I don't see it happening. Number 3, a classic that you're just not interested in reading. I decided to go with a modern classic for this one. I actually kind of feel bad about this because I feel like it's an important book that I should want to read, but I did try at one point and I couldn't. And it was Beloved by Toni Morrison. It's just too emotionally draining for me. I know that I read at least 20 pages of it, and I found just the first 20 pages of it so emotionally draining that I can't imagine reading a whole book of it. Also, I've seen the film, and the film itself was emotionally draining. I just think that it kills my soul in some weird way, and I just feel like it's an important book. I'm glad it exists, but I can't read it. Number 4, any genres you never read. I will read almost any genre except for erotica. Sexy times in books are the sections in just normal books, normal literature that is not erotica, that does include that kind of element. Those are my least favorite elements of that book. They usually slow down the plot to me, and then also I feel like they're not always necessary in some instances, and to add on to that, they usually make me just vaguely uncomfortable. So the idea of reading a genre that is centered around that does not inspire me to want to read it at all. Number 5 is a book on your shelves that you'll probably never actually read. Now, this book won't be on my shelves for very long because I am planning to unhaul it. But because I still haven't unhauled it yet, I guess I still technically own it. Thought I would use it for the answer for this. And that is The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. Someone in the comments of one of my videos when I was planning to read this basically told me some unsavory things about the author of this book. And there's a lot of things that I'm willing to overlook about humans being humans. But if an author is somebody that has been accused of or has in fact been a committer of sexually assaulting their own child, I have problems with you. So that is the case with this author, and once I heard that, I was like, I'm unhauling this book. First of all, I feel like it would cast a negative tone to the book itself and my enjoyment of it, but also because I feel like if I did end up enjoying this book, I wouldn't want to support it. So that was the books I'll probably never read tag. There are a couple on this list that you may be able to convince me to read, so put your thoughts in the comments on some of those. And also tell me some books that you also would probably never read in the comments. As for tagging people, I'm going to tag whoever wants to do this. If you haven't done this tag, you go ahead and do it. And that is it, my fabulous peeps. I will see you all soon. Bye!